Hey guys. So I'm going to talk about this book with you. Feeling Good. Um, I mentioned it briefly in the previous video, but I wanted to talk about it more. Because yeah, it really is an amazing book. It's an amazing book. Like, you have to read it. It's not even like something to think about. Like, you have to read it. Okay, let me read you the back. The good news is that anxiety, guilt, pessimism, procrastination, low self-esteem, and other black holes of depression can be treated quickly and effectively without drugs. In Feeling Good, eminent psychiatrist David D. Burns, MD, outlines remarkable techniques that can lift your spirits and help you develop a positive outlook on life, enabling you to recognize what causes your mood swings, nip negative feelings in the bud, deal with guilt, handle hostility and criticism, overcome addiction to love and approval, build self-esteem, feel good every day. Included in this edition is Dr. Burns' Consumer's Guide to Antidepressant Medications. Feeling good feels wonderful. You owe it to yourself to feel good. Yeah, so this is just like amazing. And I was gonna get more into detail with like actual topics in this book so far. I'm not that far into it. I'm on page 80. But yeah, I want to talk about yeah, I'll show you. Because this is like really useful. Okay. So there's a list of 10 cognitive distortions that we as human beings tend to feel or think or fall into the trap of. Read over the following list of 10 cognitive distortions that form the basis of all your depressions. Get a feel for them. I have prepared this list with great care. It represents the distilled essence of many years of research and clinical experience. Refer to it over and over when you read the How to Do It section of the book. When you are feeling upset, the list will be invaluable in making you aware of how you are fooling yourself. Okay, so the first cognitive distortion is all or nothing thinking. All or nothing thinking forms the basis for perfectionism. It causes you to fear any mistake or imperfection because you will then see yourself as a complete loser, and you will feel inadequate and worthless. This way of evaluating things is unrealistic because life is rarely completely either one way or the other. For example, no one is absolutely brilliant or totally stupid. Yeah, so that's all or nothing thinking. Thinking like either, wow, I'm so amazing, or oh my god, I'm awful. And not even like that general. Just like, okay, here's an example. Okay, they have an example here. But I'm gonna use another example. Okay, so I failed the spelling test, which means I am just a complete failure. I'm gonna fail that course. Everything's over now. That would be an example of all or nothing thinking, because I'm making something that isn't really a huge deal into something that is like really like controlling me and how I think, something really big. Okay, the next cognitive distortion is overgeneralization. When you overgeneralize, this is performing the mental equivalent. Wait. Okay, so basically, okay, it's kind of hard to explain. But overgeneralization is like, It's like being rejected. Okay, so say I got the courage to ask the guy out, and he said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm just not into you like that, and I'm sorry, but I don't want to go out." So then, overgeneralization would be me thinking, "Oh, now no guy's ever gonna want to go out with me. I'm never gonna get a boyfriend. I'm never gonna go on a date, and it's all thanks to this one guy that I think that way." So that would be overgeneralization. The pain of rejection is generated almost entirely from overgeneralization. So it's like overreacting. Number 3, mental filter. You pick out a negative detail in any situation and dwell on it exclusively, thus perceiving that whole situation as negative. So say I wanted to go to a party, but I knew that there was going to be a girl there that I didn't like. So instead of thinking of, oh, this party's going to be fun, like who cares about that girl? What I'm thinking is, oh, the girl that I don't want to be there is going to be there, which means the entire party is going to be awful. I'm not going to have a good time. So it's like focusing on just one negative thing, when in fact there's more things than just the negative. You just don't realize it. Number 4, disqualifying the positive. I guess that's kind of like the thing I just said. So it's transforming positive experiences or neutral experiences into negative ones. Like overanalyzing it and thinking of it so much that you're forgetting about the positive. And it says, an everyday example of this would be the way most of us have been conditioned to respond to compliments. When someone praises your appearance or your work, you might automatically tell yourself they're just being nice. With one swift blow, you mentally disqualify their compliment. You do the same thing to them when you tell them, "Oh, it was nothing really." If you constantly throw cold water on the good things that happen, no wonder life seems damp and chilly to you. Okay, another one is number 5, jumping to conclusions. You jump to a negative conclusion that is not justified by the facts of the situation. 2 examples of this are mind reading and the fortune teller error. Mind reading, you make the assumption that other people are looking down on you, and you're so convinced about this that you don't even bother to check it out. The fortune teller error, it's as if you had a crystal ball that foretold only misery for you. You imagine that something bad is about to happen, and you take this prediction as a fact, even though it is unrealistic. So it's where you jump to conclusions about things you can't not possibly know. Number 6, magnification and minimization. It's where you're either blowing things up out of proportion or shrinking them. Magnification commonly occurs when you look at your own errors, fears, or imperfections and exaggerate their importance. And it's when you're looking at your faults through the end of the binoculars that makes them appear gigantic and grotesque. This has been called catastrophizing. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to say that. Catastrophizing, because you turn commonplace negative events into nightmarish monsters. Number 7, emotional reasoning. You take your emotions as evidence for the truth. Your logic. I feel like an idiot, therefore I am an idiot. This kind of reasoning is misleading because your feelings reflect your thoughts and beliefs. If they are distorted, as is quite often the case, your emotions will have no validity. Examples of emotional reasoning include, I feel guilty, therefore I must have done something wrong. I feel overwhelmed and hopeless, therefore Therefore, my problems must be impossible to solve. I feel inadequate, therefore I must be a worthless person. I'm not in the mood to do anything, therefore I might as well just lie in bed. Or I'm mad at you. This proves that you've been acting wrong, and I'm trying to take advantage, and you're trying to take advantage of me. Emotional reasoning plays a role in nearly all your depressions. Because things feel so negative to you, you assume they truly are. It doesn't occur to you to challenge the validity of the perceptions that create your feelings. One usual side effect of emotional reasoning is procrastination. You avoid, so it's when you like convince yourself not to do something. Like, I don't want to clean my room right now. I'm like tired, therefore I'm just gonna lie in bed because I feel this way. So you're talking yourself out of something. Okay, another one is number 8, should statements. You try to motivate yourself by saying, I should do this, or I must do that. These statements cause you to feel pressured and resentful. And sometimes you end up actually not doing it because you're forcing yourself to do it, you're pressuring yourself so much that you don't end up doing it anyways. Should statements generate a lot of unnecessary emotional turmoil in your daily life. When the reality of your own behavior falls short of your standards, your shoulds and shouldn'ts create self-loathing, shame, and guilt. Okay, number 9, labeling and mislabeling. Personal labeling means creating a completely negative self-image based on your errors. It is an extreme form of overgeneralization. The philosophy behind this is the measure of a man is the mistakes he makes. So it's when you're labeling yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory. And finally, number 10, personalization. This distortion is the mother of guilt. You assume responsibility for a negative even when there is no basis for doing so. You arbitrarily conclude that what happened was your fault or reflects your inadequacy, even when you were not responsible for it. For example, when a patient didn't do a self-help assignment I had suggested, I felt guilty because of my thought, I must be a lousy therapist, it's my fault that she isn't working harder to help herself, it's my responsibility to make sure she gets well. When a mother saw her child's report card, there was a note from the teacher indicating the child was not working well. She immediately decided, I must be a bad mother, this shows how I failed. Personalization causes you to feel crippling guilt. Okay, so that's all of them. The 10 forms of cognitive distortions cause many, if not all, of your depressed states. So, study the 10 cognitive distortions and master these concepts. Try to become as familiar with them as your phone number. So yeah, they want you to know the tricks, the things that are getting you to feel depressed, like what the thinking patterns most people have. So yeah, I hope you guys liked what I shared with you in the book, and again, this is worth your money. This is worth you buying. It only costed $8.99, and think about, like, this should be like a friggin' $1 million book right here. This is amazing. So you guys read it, tell me what you think of it, and yeah, please read it. If you're struggling with depression, it doesn't even matter if it's severe depression or if it's just like you want to change your negative thoughts, just read that book. And I swear it will help you.